On the surface at least, the new 1.4 litre 148 bhp Corsa GSi looks good, literally. Give or take a styling tweak here or there, it appears all but identical in the flesh to its predecessor, the now defunct and much missed Corsa VXR. Beneath its skin, it even has the same chassis and suspension as the VXR, and is, reckons Vauxhall, every bit as much fun to drive. Or is it? Truth is, despite the smaller engine GSi's impressive increases in economy and efficiency, it was never going to compete with the VXR dynamically because it is over 50 bhp down on power. But how does it fare against rivals from other companies such as Ford in the form of the excellent new Fiesta ST and Peugeot's well-established 208 GTI? Can the 19 grand GSi cut it in company as good as this?
Right, well the short answer is, and I'm sorry to say this Vauxhall, but not really and not quite is the answer with the new Corsa GSi. And the problem is not necessarily the way it drives, because although it's okay and it's pleasantly swift with 148 bhp and 220 newton meters of torque, that's quite good. So it feels quite sort of perky in the mid-range. But the main problem with this car is its price. I mean, 18,995 before you put these seats in it and before you put the tasty wheels on it, which takes it to very nearly 21,000 quid. And I'm afraid to say that the Corsa GSi, beside a similarly priced Fiesta ST, is absolutely nowhere. There's not that much to complain about on the move. As I say, the performance is perky enough. The ride is borderline not great at all, especially on roads like this. It's properly firm, but then you're going to kind of expect that with a VXR chassis. The VXR never rode very well, and this thing doesn't ride at all. On a road like this, you feel every single nugget of imperfection coming straight back at you through the seats and through the steering wheel. There's quite a lot of tyre noise as well. And when it comes to the steering and the gear change and all the response from all the pedals, there's just this slightly kind of rubbery, not very well defined response to everything. It's all a bit numb from behind the wheel, to be honest, the Corsa GSi. And if it went like stink, you could kind of forgive it an awful lot. But the performance is kind of adequate and no more. And then you put it up against the Fiesta ST, which has got another 50 horsepower, you know, and I'm afraid it doesn't stack up. So although it's a pleasant enough thing to be in, all the connectivity stuff is great. You can't complain about that. The driving position is a bit high, but fundamentally it's a nice little cheeky hot hatch to be in, the Corsa GSi. And it looks pretty cool as well. It's cute, but it's just that price and the numbness of the dynamics. You just kind of, I'm sat here not having the ball that I should be having driving this car. It should be an absolute scream on a road like this, but it's kind of okay and no more.
To be fair, the GSi's handling is pretty tidy, and not just because the level of grip available from its new Michelin Pilot tyres is right up there with the best. But even in this respect, it has a lack of finesse through its steering and beneath your backside that is, I'm afraid, nowhere again beside what's on offer from the GSi's best rivals.
So in the end, there are really only two things that stack up heavily in favour of the Corsa GSi. One is the way it looks. It does look cool. The other is the insurance rating it's got. It's well below most of its other key rivals. And besides something like a Fiesta ST, it's going to be significantly cheaper to insure. But do you buy a hot hatch like this because it's going to be cheap to insure, or because you're going to have a riot from behind the wheel? I know where my money goes, and it's not on the Corsa GSi, I'm afraid.
Bottom line is, it's just not as much fun to drive as the competition. Click on the video windows to watch first drives of the new Volkswagen Polo GTI or the latest Suzuki Swift Sport. Click on the play icon to watch our latest video or on our logo to subscribe.